Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Miss McLaughlin Writes, a series where we write together through shared prompts on the internet. And excited to be here back for episode number 5. I usually like to start off by sharing a favorite book or a book that I'm currently reading. I don't have a physical copy of this book, but it's kind of going to be the theme for the whole episode today. And so the book that I wanted to recommend to you to read is a book called The Art of Racing in the Rain. And what I love about The Art of Racing in the Rain is it's told entirely from the perspective of a dog named Enzo. And Enzo lives, at the beginning of the book, he lives with a young man who has given up on his dream of becoming a race car driver. But in the meantime, Enzo still feels that young man's passion and loves to watch cars racing. What's it called? Whatever. Loves to watch cars racing on television when his owner's not home and with his owner. So I think what's really amazing about this particular story is it is written entirely from the perspective of the dog. So you experience the world the way a dog experiences a world, through the dog's senses. So we know that a dog's nose is so much more powerful and smelling than a human's nose. And so a lot of the description from the book, from Enzo's point of view, has to do with the things that he's smelling and the things that he's seeing and the things that he's hearing. So we kind of get that heightened awareness that dogs have through their senses. I'll keep a cover of the book kind of up here for a few seconds so you can see the cover of the book. But what's interesting with this book is you can actually go online and hear the first chapter read aloud on the author's website. And so the author's name is Garth Stein, Stein. So if you want to go to his website and hear the first chapter of the book out loud, you're more than welcome to do that. Which leads me into today's quick write prompt for today. So we're going to write for 4 minutes on a prompt, and the prompt is connected to The Art of Racing in the Rain. In fact, it's the first paragraph from the novel. And so full confession, if you pick up that novel, it's going to break your heart. It's going to make you cry. So if you're in the mood for a good cry, that's the one to go. I was reminded about this particular excerpt from the novel from one of my favorite quick write books, the Quick Write book by Linda Reef. I love this. She takes so many excerpts out of powerful pieces of work as well as student exemplars and kind of gives you a quick write format to follow. So really, really love this resource. But anyway, so I was reminded by this passage and thought it would be a great quick write for today. So here it is. Gestures are all that I have. Sometimes they must be grand in nature, and while I occasionally step over the line and into the world of the melodramatic, it is what I must do in order to communicate clearly and effectively, in order to make my point understood without question. I have no words and I can rely on. Much to my dismay, my tongue was designed long and flat and loose, and therefore is a horribly ineffective tool for pushing food around my mouth while chewing, and an even less effective tool for making clever and complicated polysyllabic sounds that can be linked together to form sentences. And that's why I'm here now, waiting for Denny to come home. He should be here soon, lying on the cool tiles of my kitchen floor in a puddle of my own urine. Enzo the Dog, The Art of Racing in the Rain. So I think that this opening paragraph from this novel is very, very powerful because it immediately sort of eases you into the idea that Enzo is a dog and is telling the perspective from his story. But it also is very clear by the end of the paragraph that something is not right with Enzo the dog, for him to be lying on the kitchen floor in a puddle of his own pee. So as much as this is a heartbreaking paragraph, it's also really richly written. So what I'm going to ask you to do for this quick write, and I'm going to leave the prompt up on the screen the whole time so you don't get to see the top of my head. I want you to write out anything in this excerpt that comes to mind. So if there's one word or phrase or idea that just is something you want to write about, go ahead and do that. Or if there's a line that you want to steal and go from there, that's great. And if you want, you could even write from an animal's perspective. So if you have a furry friend wandering around your house and you want to write from their perspective, you can do that as well. So this is very, very open-ended. Anything connected to the topic of pets or having animals or connection with animals, if there's a sentence, a phrase, a word, a line, just go with it. Okay, I'm going to put 4 minutes on the clock, and I'm going to leave this prompt up on the screen so that you can see it. And we're going to do a quick write together. So here we go. 4 minutes starts now. Three minutes left. One minute left. Finish up your idea. All right, so here we go. that one gave me a little bit of a hand cramp, but maybe that's because I filmed 2 videos back to back, and it's the most I've handwritten in a while. Okay, so for this particular prompt, I didn't go from the perspective of an animal in my house, because I honestly have no idea what they're thinking about most of the time. And that's exactly what I wrote about, the fact that I don't know what they're thinking about. So I said, I often wonder what my cats are thinking and how they connect the 4 beings in this house. So I have 2 cats, and then myself and my husband, so there's 4 of us. No kids, just cats. I have no doubt that Tibby, who's the younger of the kittens, who is in here all the time, you see her, considers Liam the pack leader, or whatever the equivalent of this is in the cat world. I don't think of myself as a cat mom, more of a cat lady, but I have no doubt that Tibby considers me to be more of a maternal figure. Every morning when I fill up the food bowl, she immediately scampers away and demands that I pick her up and carry her back to the kitchen and deposit her in front of her food bowl, just like a mommy cat. All right, so there we go. Writing about pets is always something that's really, really joyful, or sometimes a little bit sad if we've had a pet that's passed. So as an extension to that, finish up your writing, or maybe if you wrote like I did, where you were just thinking about your pets, you could extend and do another piece of writing where you write from their perspective, kind of like we did in the last episode about the day the crayons quit. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that prompt. As a reminder, I have a whole playlist of these videos here on YouTube. I'll link that down below. I'm also posting all of the images connected to these prompts on my blog at msmclaughlin.com. And if you are writing and you want to tag me in something, you can find me on Twitter and McLaughlin as @MsMcLaughlin. All that information will be down below in the description box as well. So I hope you guys have a great day filled with lots of amazing books and writing, and we'll see you on the next episode of Ms. McLaughlin Writes. Bye.